Okay, we should be live. If we've got anybody in the live chat, could you please say that we are live? Let me know, because my OBS is saying that the stream is still starting, but then I got the YouTube notification that I'm live, so I'm not really sure. So just let me know if you are in the live chat. If we are live, we've got 3 people watching and 3 likes, so welcome in everybody. I hope you're all doing well. As you likely saw with the stream title, we're going to be here this evening for live winter storm coverage. So we have lake effect snow tonight through tomorrow. This has been ongoing all day, but the first big round is getting started right now. You can see we've got multiple chasers out. I cannot show their feeds, but we have Tornado Pagey and Bryce, and then we have Connor Croft is out there. I know Brandon Kopic and Vince Walty are also out there. Looks like we've got Dominic B in the chat. It has been forever, Dominic. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the stream. But for those of you just tuning in, be sure to like this stream. In these areas, we are expecting 12 to 18 inches of snow between this afternoon through tomorrow, through Veterans Day, in some of these areas, and we could see snowfall rates of up to 3 inches per hour. Right now, the heaviest snowfall is near Three Oaks, Michigan, New Buffalo Township, Stevensville. So it's really all lingering in northern Indiana and extreme southwest Michigan. The Chicago area is actually not seeing too heavy of snow right now, but it has been ongoing all day for them, so I wouldn't be surprised if we already have a couple inches of snow on the ground. So once again, for those of you just tuning in, I hope you're all doing well. Let me know where you're all tuning in from. We'll see if we've got anybody in these areas watching right now. This is a winter weather coverage stream, so obviously nothing too urgent is going to be going on with this, but we'll be here for a little bit. There is a chance, I'm not guaranteeing it, I'm not even promising it, it's about a 50-50 chance that we see thunder snow tonight, and my lightning strikes don't pop up on Radar Omega, but I'll check Radar Scope really quick here on my phone. Okay, so it's not showing any lightning in the past 30 minutes as of right now. That could change. Yeah, that's pretty much all we're doing this evening. For anybody who would like to go above and beyond to support the channel, this is completely optional, not required. It's just for those who do want to go above and beyond. There's a PayPal. It is the top thing linked in the description. That is completely optional. But that helps with things like paying for Radar Omega, Radar Scope, National Storm Chaser Summit 2026 Fund, and just helps me out. That is not what we're here for. We're here to keep people safe, keep you guys updated, but it is always nice to see people go the extra mile. So, thank you all for your support. So we also do have a small craft advisory in effect. So this is a small craft advisory in effect until 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. North winds 15 to 25 knots with gusts up to 30 knots and waves 5 to 12 feet from this winter storm. And that's Michigan City, Indiana to St. Joseph, Michigan. So conditions will be hazardous to small craft. So if you are out on Lake Michigan, please be careful. I would like to also know, this is obviously not the main event tonight, but we do have some winter weather advisories in northwest Pennsylvania and portions of Ohio, south of Cleveland. We are also seeing some somewhat lake effect snow, but not as serious as what we've got going on in Indiana, Michigan, and portions of Illinois. but you can see in northwest Pennsylvania and north central Ohio, they are expecting lake effect snow with total snow accumulations 2 to 4 inches. So you could see some localized power outages there with those storms, but power outages may be prolonged with our snowstorm we've got. Especially, I would be surprised if we haven't already seen some big power outages in southwest Michigan and northwest Indiana. I'll actually check our power outage US map. Okay, so Indiana, St. Joseph County has 6,558 customers without power. That's where you see South Bend, and they have been seeing some snow today. So pretty safe to assume that that would be winter weather related. The state of Michigan, actually, not seeing any counties with too many outages, just Berrien County, which I'm assuming is right here because I see Berrien Springs. They've got 1,255 customers without. So power outages seem pretty limited as of right now with this winter storm, which is always good news. But I will keep an eye on that because I am anticipating those numbers to rise as we go throughout the night. Most of those power outages will be caused by heavy wet snow weighing down on power lines or trees falling. Could always knock it out. So I'm going to keep an eye on live chat, so if anybody has any questions or would just like to hang out, feel free to talk in there. Just please be respectful. I will remind you all, your live chats do help push the stream into the YouTube algorithm, so be sure to like the stream and all of that good stuff. But it looks like that heavy band of snow is continuing to intensify. So it's going to be dumping a lot of snow near New Buffalo Township, Michigan, Three Oaks, Michigan. You guys are likely going to see probably at least an inch or two of snow in the next hour. So all of that rain in these areas has switched over to snow as the sun has gone down. So that's what we're looking at right now, not too much to talk about. We can actually look at models really quick. Okay, here is our geopotential height anomaly, the GFS 500 millibar. This just kind of shows where you have those troughs moving in with temperature. You can see this is about right now. We have this area of low pressure with very cold air moving in. You can see that 528 millibar line, and that is just south of where we were seeing our snow. And that system is going to continue south, and this is a big factor of what is causing areas like Tennessee and portions of North Carolina, South Carolina, and maybe even northern Georgia to expect some snow over the next couple of days. And where you see that red, that area of higher pressure, that is what is causing areas like Denver, Colorado, Cheyenne, Wyoming to have seen much less snow than they should have. Denver, Colorado has not seen any snow yet this winter season. It has been very delayed for them. But once again, be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from in the live chat. I'm also happy to answer any questions that you guys might have relating to the weather. London, UK as usual. Nice. Thank you for being up that late and sticking around, tuning in. You hate snow? Do you guys get snow too often? I feel like the UK definitely does get snow, but I don't really know the specifics like with London. So how often do you guys get snow? I don't know why, but the radar... Okay, there we go. Everything disappeared for a second. So it looks like our main focus right now in terms of heavy bands of snow is definitely going to be over here in extreme southwest Michigan and northwest Indiana, north central Indiana, west of South Bend near LaPorte, Rolling Prairie, Michigan City, Springfield. Let's see. I'm not 100% sure. I would actually doubt that this is accurate, but let's see what it says for the precip totals on the good old Radar Omega. Okay, so it actually doesn't look like it wants to show. So let's go storm total precip. Okay. So I think it's picking this all up as rain, so I wouldn't say that this is accurate, but it is showing near Fort Wayne, Indiana, 2 inches. But yeah, I don't think that's accurate because these areas have definitely seen more than 2 inches of snow. I think it's calculating it based off of rain. But I can say without a doubt that a lot of these areas have probably picked up on at least 4 or 5 inches of snow. And the intensity of that snow is going to increase overnight. So if you are in these areas right now and you have not lost power yet, be sure to have a plan for if you do lose power, because it is going to get cold. So make sure you have a plan in place for that. And a power outage kit. You've got some non-perishable food and battery banks to keep your phone charged and to stay warm. But we're actually picking up on almost 40 dBZs of snow off the coast near Three Oaks, Michigan, and that is moving onto shore. So I don't really have an exact definition for what dBZ is for you, but the higher the number, the more intense precipitation that the map is measuring. And typically 35 to 50 dBZ is very heavy in terms of snow. For example, 60 dBZ is hail, but there could be 36 dBZ rain or snow. That's why we use the winter weather radar, because this one shows the snow. So the blue where you're picking up is snow, and you may see some green over here, but it is mixing in with the blue. I can guarantee that this is all snow pretty much, maybe a little bit of sleet, because you can see we are sitting at 30 degrees Fahrenheit in that area, so it is beyond the freezing point. So all of that should be snow. If not, then maybe just a little bit of wintry mix. Looks like we've got a couple spotter dots out here. Eric Fox. Bryce. Corey Gherkin is out. So a lot of them are out chasing that lake effect snow. But yeah, that's pretty much all we've got going on tonight. We're just here for a little bit. So if you haven't already, be sure to share the live stream. Let's get some more people in here. I'm going to switch over to the 75 frames radar, and you can really see more of how that snow has been moving throughout the day. We'll go to the Chicago radar, Joliet, Illinois radar. So you can see a lot of that snow has been lingering in areas near New Buffalo Township, as I was saying. I don't know why my microphone is making this weird crackling noise, because it sounds like the noise of a candle crackling when like water gets on it or something. I don't know what that is. It's really weird. But yeah, for anybody who has any questions, be sure to let me know. You could see how a lot of that snow, though, Chicago had a couple good bands of snow earlier, but the majority of that snow has been lingering near Michigan City, Indiana, New Buffalo Township, Michigan, Three Oaks, Michigan, Bridgman, Michigan, west of Berrien Springs, Michigan. Gonna try to fix the microphone really quick. See if I can get that weird noise to stop. Okay, I'm just gonna test this for a second, see if that sounds better. Just got some technical difficulties that I'm trying to sort out. But we're gonna get back to our current radar, and you could see, compared to a couple hours ago, I don't know why the microphone makes that weird ticking. Weird tapping noise. But for those of you just tuning in, we are live covering the snowstorm that we've got going through much of southwest Michigan, north central Indiana, and the Chicago metro in Illinois. So if anybody does have any questions, let me know in the live chat. Okay, so we're back to the old microphone setup because that one was bugging out. Okay, should be back. We actually do have a gale warning in effect for these areas. So this is a marine weather message from the National Weather Service in Milwaukee and Sullivan, Wisconsin. So for much of Lake Michigan, north winds 20 to 30 knots with gusts up to around 35 knots and waves 8 to 13 feet. So we're going to have some very intense waves. But we do have 4 people watching, so welcome in everybody. Hope you're all doing well for those of you just tuning in. The ticking noise sounds like electrical interference, plug socket or fan, something like that. That's weird because my external microphone makes the ticking noise. The other one was making the candle crackling noise. That's like the internal one, but I think I fixed the issue now. It should sound good. Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT is back at it again. $10 donation from Mr. Dominic B. Thank you so much, Dominic B. Greatly appreciated. One of the top dogs of the channel right here in chat. So once again, thank you so much for your support. Greatly appreciated. We'll get you up on the dono board. It's been a while since I've made one of those. Kind of stopped doing that. So let's get the donation board. Once again, thank you very much, Dominic. Greatly appreciated. Great to see you back in here again. Hello, camp. Welcome in. Yes, it is a ton of snow. Okay, let's make that a lot smaller. Once again, thank you very much, Dominic. We appreciate you. Okay, so that's good. That is a ton of snow on the Storm Chasers feeds. I actually haven't looked at any Storm Chasers feeds in a couple of hours. Let me look at Connor Croft. He's been dominating out there today. Connor Croft is in New Carlisle, Indiana. Oh my goodness. It doesn't look like that much snow at first glance, but a lot of it has been plowed, so I'd imagine they've seen at least probably 6 inches of snow, would be my estimate. So once again, a ton of snow out there. In New Carlisle, Indiana, I would assume around 5 to 6 inches have fallen already. We have 5 people watching. Welcome into those of you just tuning in. Be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from so we can provide the most accurate information. Let's get back to our current radar. Still had it on the archive there. But this is going to be our main focus for likely the majority of this stream, north central Indiana and southwest Michigan. Everybody was talking about the Chicago area going crazy. Yes, they'll get some snow overnight, but right now it's looking like southwest Michigan is going to be the target. And the GFS, especially on this morning and last night's runs, it forecasted this pretty well. I used one of those screenshots of the GFS in my thumbnail. Well, I mean, as an Oklahoman, that's a lot, lol. I mean, that's a lot to me, too. Normally, most of our storms, we get 6+ inches of snow here in Colorado, and this year we're way behind. We have not gotten a single snowstorm this year. We haven't even gotten a single flake. Who's on the road? Connor. We have Connor on the road. I believe Connor's on his own tonight. But Tornado Pagey and Bryce Shelton are together. Vince Walty is out there. Aaron Rigsby, Corey Gherkin. Did I say Brandon Kopic? I think we have Brandon Kopic out as well. I know he was supposed to go out chasing the lake effect snow at least. I don't see his chaser icon. You can see Corey Gherkin spotted on. Gavin Ash, not sure who that is, but we have Eric Fox, who runs the man, the myth, the legend. He runs the National Storm Chasers Summit. But once again, they are calling for up to 3 inches an hour of snow in some areas with this storm. And if I had to point out an area where I do think that's going to be happening pretty soon, I think this whole band right here approaching Three Oaks, Michigan, New Buffalo Township, west of Bridgman, that's moving off the coast right now, that is definitely going to produce at least 1.5 to 2 inches of snow. Say the summit guy again, Eric Fox. Eric Fox is up there. He's near Benton Harbor. Once again, if you are in Three Oaks or New Buffalo Township, Michigan, you guys are going to get a lot of snow over these next 30 minutes to an hour at least. But this band is extremely slow moving. And with this storm on the winter storm warning, they are also calling for strong winds, and the weight of snow of tree limbs may down power lines, so sporadic power outages are possible. The hazardous conditions could impact the Monday morning and evening commutes. Travel could be very difficult to impossible, so avoid all travel unless it is absolutely necessary, especially in southwest Michigan or north central Indiana west of South Bend right now. Any of these areas near the coast all the way out to South Bend, Indiana. I guess that's more northwest Indiana. North central, northwest central. I don't know what to call it. But for those of you in Chicago, you guys actually are picking up on another band of snow. You guys have been going pretty steady with the snow all day. It's just varied in intensity at times. So I would imagine you all don't have as much snow there, but you guys are definitely going to get in on a good amount, especially, goodness, I cannot talk, especially the further east you go into Chicago. But looking over the past 8 hours, you can see it's been pretty much nonstop in extreme northwest Indiana near Chesterton, Town of Pines, Michigan City, and near New Buffalo Township in Three Oaks, Michigan, in extreme southwest Michigan. So you guys are the main concern right now, and you have been all day. South Central Alaska WX, welcome into the stream. Hello, hope you are doing well. For anybody just tuning in, please be sure to like this stream. Helps out a lot. The microphone's making that noise again. It sounds like the noise that a candle makes, like the crackling when you pour water on it. And it kind of sounds like somebody like slurping on a Slurpee. It's weird. But I'm gonna share this post out, or share this stream out on a community post. We're at 4 likes. Thank you all for the support. We've got 5 people watching. So once again, we are tracking this lake effect snow, this snowstorm, where our main concern is southwest Michigan and northwest Indiana near Michigan City and Town of Pines. You guys are expecting between this afternoon and tomorrow evening 12 to 18 inches of snow, and at times you could see up to 3 inches per hour. One of those scenarios is happening right now near Three Oaks in New Buffalo Township, Michigan. We do have the potential for thunder snow tonight. It's about a 50-50 chance, I would say. Over the past 20 minutes, I'm not seeing any snow, or lightning, on radar scope, sorry. I have to look on radar scope for lightning, because I can't get it to work on Radar Omega. But maybe in this new update it'll work, so actually, that's what we're going to try. That's the wrong thing. I think it's in here. No. Lightning detection. There, it has its whole own category now. We'll turn on 15 minutes. And we do actually have, I could see up there on our alerts tab, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, actually. This is east of Richmond, Virginia. So this storm is producing hail up to 1 inch, which is quarter size, 60 mile per hour damaging winds. They actually did issue a tornado possible tag on it, so the National Weather Service believes this may have the potential to produce a tornado. And I would assume they're talking about some rotation embedded in that area. Nothing too imminent, in my opinion, which I think is why they didn't issue that tornado warning. But we could see a water spout down the road with this. So if you are in, I don't know how to say that, Gloucester Courthouse, not sure how to say that, tried my best. But that area in Virginia near Urbana, Saluda, West Point, or Croker, these areas southeast of Richmond, you guys seek shelter inside a sturdy building, away from windows, and secure loose outdoor objects. Nope, don't want to look at that. Don't have permission to look at any of these Storm Chasers feeds out tonight. I can view them, but I just can't share them on stream. But we have 4 people watching. For those of you just tuning in, welcome to the stream. So we are currently at 1 severe thunderstorm warning, just that lone one in Virginia. We do have 3 special weather statements. These are with these storms that we're seeing in the Virginia area. But nothing really too concerning in terms of severe weather, so we are going to keep an eye on our winter storm event. But if anybody does have any questions for that severe weather we've got going on, please be sure to let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. Okay, I just got the notification. Ryan Scholl, he just got the notification. He's going live in 30 minutes. Live Storm Chaser, Chicago Lake Effect Snow Madness, and he said thunder snow likely. So Ryan Scholl is saying thunder snow likely. But we have 5 people watching, so if you are just tuning in, please be sure to like the stream. We have 5 likes. Welcome in, everybody. Be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from, especially if you're tuning in from any of these areas currently being impacted by the winter storm. Right now, our main concern is southwest Michigan and northwest Indiana, where they are expecting snowfall rates of up to 3 inches per hour at times, which sounds excessive, but it is true. And something that kind of explains this a little bit. This is our geopotential height, so this kind of just gives us an idea of the pressure in millibars, and kind of it could influence our temperatures and that type of thing. I'm not going to go super in depth right now, but you can see that 540 line, 528, so where we see that lower pressure. I guess this isn't entirely true, but it's a good way to explain it to you all. With a hurricane, when the pressure is lower, actually that's not a good analogy. Yeah, I don't want to spread misinformation, but that low area of pressure, that low pressure is going to produce our cold front that moves through, and that is the majority of the reason why we are looking at the potential for snow in portions of Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, maybe portions of South Carolina and Georgia. I'm not guaranteeing anything. That is what is causing that. And you can see it, that higher pressure out on the west is partially why we haven't seen any snow in a lot of those areas, but they are expecting a relatively weak cold front to move through portions of Wyoming and Colorado. In southern Colorado, it'll be a bit stronger, but that may bring their first snow of the season for much of central, southern, and eastern Colorado. So that is a big portion of what is driving this. Obviously, we could go a lot more in depth, but this is a live coverage stream rather than a forecast because it is currently ongoing. I'm going to try changing the color of the donation board. So that might look better. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to make this kinda... Okay, there we go. I think that looks good. But once again, the GOAT, Dominic B, is back at it again. Thank you also for being a moderator in my live chat, and thank you so much for your support with the $10 dono. The GOAT is back at it again. Great to see you in here. Also great to see you in here, Camp and South Central Alaska WX. And all of you silent viewers as well, of course. But once again, be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from. And I'm happy to provide a little update for you. Just a state, city, anything like that. Please don't dox yourself, though. For anybody who doesn't know what that means, it means to give away your location, like, for example, your address or your street. Don't do that. But we're at 6 likes. Thank you to whoever just liked the stream. But my main concern right now is near Three Oaks in New Buffalo Township, Michigan. That is where they're seeing the heaviest of snow. Connor Croft and a lot of our chasers right now actually are south of there near New Carlisle, Olive, and Rolling Prairie, Indiana, northwest Indiana, where they have seen likely 5 to 6 inches of snow at least. A lot of it has been plowed. So it's good to see that that snow is being maintained. I guess that's not the best way to say it. Not that the snow is being maintained, but that the road conditions are relatively safe. Is this going to hit the farmers in their crops? That's actually a good question. I would hope by now a lot of this area has finished up with their farming season. I'm not sure if Indiana is big on corn, especially northwest Indiana. I know Illinois is. My friend Davis today, he actually saw his first snowflakes. Many of you, I think all of you know who he is. But I don't think it should impact them too much. I'll have to look into that. But we've got 4 people watching, so welcome in to whoever just tuned in. If you are new around here, please consider subscribing to the channel. But if you're just asking, is this going to hit the farmers? Yes, a lot of the farming areas are being impacted by the snow. Yesterday, actually, we had 2 to 4 inches of snow in some areas of Iowa and Nebraska, South Dakota, and extreme southwest Minnesota. There was a winter weather advisory, and you can actually see that was a bad drawing, but a lot of this is just the radar picking up on dead air contamination because of how close we are to the radar. But we do have a couple snow showers moving through the area near Des Moines, especially east of Des Moines. We've actually got a snow shower, maybe produce a slight amount of accumulation, maybe a 10th or a 20th of an inch south of Toledo, Iowa. No snow in Nebraska, but it is cold enough for snow. It's 22 degrees in the Omaha metro, so it is cold out there. Give me just a moment, everybody. I'm going to grab some water. This is your reminder to stay hydrated as well. Give me 20 to 30 seconds, if even. I'll leave the radar up, but be right back, everyone. Alrighty, I am back. Please drink rain. Well, I have before opened my mouth and got raindrops in my mouth. They didn't really taste like anything. I mean, it tasted a little like, I guess, salty in a way, but that's off topic. It looks like behind this little band of snow we've got coming on ashore, we've got another band developing. So the snow is just non-stop in these areas. We're seeing up to, okay, I gotta pause this, 40 dBz of snow. There's 39 right there, 40. And thunder snow is possible tonight. Not seeing any lightning on a radar. But actually, I'll show you guys what I'm seeing on, this is radar scope. So you can see, because I have MPing reports up on here, lots of snow reports around the Chicago metro, which is to be expected based off what we're seeing on radar, but no lightning indicators so far. We'll actually check on our other storms over here. Looks like no thunder snow near Erie, Pennsylvania, or Cleveland, Ohio. Looking at our severe thunderstorm, yeah, there you can see I have lightning indicators enabled. But once again, this severe thunderstorm warning, moving off the coast of Virginia right now, expires in 20 minutes for 3/4 of an inch of hail or less, and 60 mph winds. Radar indicated they did remove the tornado possible tag from that. Let's look at velocity really quick. As you can see, like I was saying earlier when the tornado possible tag was on that, really no rotation with that storm at all, so wouldn't be concerned about any of that. That's just what we're looking at with radar scope. If we do see any lightning associated with our snow, I'll let you all know that we got some thunder snow. But once again, the radar is not showing anything in terms of lightning right now, but you can see that heavy band of snow offshore. But we're going to go back to radar Omega. So we are back on radar Omega. The main reason I use radar Omega, especially in the winter, is because it has the winter weather radar, but also because I like radar scope, but I feel like radar Omega is just a little bit more presentable. It's kind of hard to explain, but it looks better on stream, whereas like I prefer radar scope when I'm like monitoring the weather in my area or like chasing, unless it's during the winter. Another cool thing, I think you might be able to do this on radar Omega or radar scope somehow, but on radar Omega they have the 3D radar, so you can see like the more intense that the radar is picking up on precipitation, the higher it goes. It kind of looks like a mountain range. It's funny. Maybe it's just the color tables with this, but I get asked a lot why I pay for 2 different subscriptions when I could just use one radar, but that is my reason. But for those of you who do support the channel by donations, this is what you help pay for. You help pay for Radar Omega, Radar Scope, and just helps me out. And maybe we'll subscribe to some more softwares in the future. Thought about getting Pivotal Weather Plus, but I feel like I'm not quite there yet to need that. They do offer free trials, so maybe I'll do one of those and it'll change my mind. But once again, if anybody has any questions for their area, be sure to let me know. We've got 6 likes and 5 people watching. The viewership has been pretty consistent this stream, so I appreciate you all for tuning in on this Sunday evening. Thanks again for being here, Dominic, especially with how late it is for you. What time is it for you now? Because I'm not sure if you guys change when we change our clocks. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've drank all my water, so I'm going to need to go get a refill. But once again, our heaviest band of snow is moving towards New Buffalo Township, but it's right now over Lake Michigan, slowly creeping its way onto shore. But I will be right back, everyone. I'm going to try to type that on screen. Just a minute or two. So, once again, I will be right back in just a minute or two, everyone. Don't go anywhere. And thanks for tuning in. Alrighty, everybody, I am back. For those of you just tuning in, welcome into the stream. Looks like Misty said hello in the live chat. Not sure why the message went away. But for those of you new around here, please consider subscribing to the channel. We don't ask too often, but it does help out a lot and is completely free. Be sure to like the stream, that is also free. And if you would like to go above and beyond to support the channel, you will get a spot on the donation board up there with Mr. Dominic B. You can see up there. And typically those change every stream, but I'll probably keep this same one the next couple streams just because we haven't been able to go live too much lately. But for anybody who would like to go above and beyond to support the channel, any amount helps out, but that is not required at all. Even just watching helps out. But that link is in the chat. Actually, it is not in the chat. It's at the very top of the description. They got whiteout conditions in Chicago and people are getting pulled out of ditches. Might have a foot of snow and 0 visibility. Wow. I haven't seen any videos from Chicago, but oh my goodness. I can't show Connor Connor Croft's stream on here. Don't have permission to use his feed, but go look at his stream, Connor Croft's stream, and look just like a minute, 5-ish minutes back when he's driving on that road with all that snow. The snow has picked up so much since I last looked. The snow is rapidly falling in northwest Indiana. And I think he's on a city street, so I'm wondering, actually, there might not be houses there, but I'm wondering if the power might be out, because there should be some light on that road. So the power might be out. Connor pulled someone out of a ditch. He's with his dad. Oh, he's with his dad. I think you asked me who Connor was with earlier, Dominic. Connor is with his dad. So I'm going to watch his stream for a second. It looks like there is some light up ahead, but the snow is just battering their vehicle. Wow. Yes, he is in some of the heaviest bands of snow. To give you all an idea of the intensity of snow approaching New Buffalo Township, Michigan, Connor Croft is currently in 25 to 30-ish dBz snow right now on the scale of how the radar measures how intense it is. And the higher the number, the more intense the precipitation. We have up to 42 dBz snow that is going to soon be in New Buffalo Township and Long Beach in these areas. So I do think Connor Croft drives a RAV. People definitely do need 4x4s or 4-wheel drive. But even no matter the vehicle you have, if you guys are in these areas, please avoid travel if it is not absolutely necessary. It's not worth the risk. Those roads are going to be super slick. It's that heavy wet snow that's what's going to cause those trees to fall and cause power outages. It's that heavy wet snow that weighs down on branches and transformers. You can't see in front of him. It's like blizzard conditions too, like Winter Storm Blair last year in 2024. It's Bro, welcome into the stream. It's Bro, I believe you tune in from northwest Indiana, right? Somewhere in this area in the winter storm warning. You got no school tomorrow? Nice. I'm assuming a lot of these areas, schools are going to be closed tomorrow, mainly because of the snow, but a lot of schools have tomorrow off for Veterans Day anyway. So for a lot of schools, they were already given the day off, but if they were not off for Veterans Day, I would imagine that this snow is going to close school. How has my day been? My day has been pretty good. How about you, Misty? You're in Michigan City. Oh, right there. So, yeah, Michigan City I was talking about earlier, actually. We're going to go over our radar loop from the past 7 or 8 hours. You can see the snow has been, this is from 1:37 p.m. Mountain Time all the way to 7:35 p.m. So that's about 6.5 hours, I believe, if my math is correct. But it has been non-stop precipitation there of at least 25 dBz. So you guys probably have at least 7 or 8 inches of snow on the ground. That is going to continue. Some of the heavier bands of snow are on their way to you guys. This band is getting even bigger, just developing. That lake effect snow just exploding in intensity. But I will read through the winter storm warning again to show you guys some of the impacts from this storm. Dominic says, if you ever want a lot of driving fun, find a big car, park, and go sliding in the snow. It's a lot of fun. We were live yesterday covering the snow in Nebraska and Iowa, and on the side I was watching John McKinney's stream, and somebody in a little red sedan from the 90s or 2000s, maybe like a Ford, not sure, but definitely not a big car. They swerved and went into a ditch, and it looked like a teen just like messing around, and the police guy seemed pretty chill, but thankfully no injuries. I mean, it was just a super small ditch that they slid into going like 15 miles per hour. But initially, this winter storm warning mentioned snow accumulations 12 to 18 inches, but we've seen around at least 6 to 8 inches of snow fall. So now it's highlighting heavy lake effect snow, additional snow accumulations between 5 and 12 inches, highest amounts in northern LaPorte County, Indiana, which I believe is where Michigan City is. That is what we were talking about, so we forecasted that pretty well. So, where portions of northern Indiana and southwest Michigan, that's where our target is, and we could see snow up to 3 inches per hour, but it's road. Please stay safe out there. Avoid all unnecessary travel. In Chicago's winter storm warning, they've got dangerous to nearly impossible travel conditions due to intense lake effect snow expected. Snow rates in excess of 3 inches per hour, accompanied by northerly winds gusting to over 30 miles per hour, resulting in blowing and drifting snow. Total snow accumulations will vary considerably across the county, ranging from 2 to 4 inches in the lesser hit areas to locally 5 to 10 inches in the hardest hit areas, with isolated higher totals possible. So that's what I was talking about. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but last night I noticed that the Chicago area wasn't looking like they were going to get as much snow as areas near Michigan City, Indiana. But nonetheless, the impacts are going to be very similar because we're going to have that heavy wet snow, and in Chicago it's going to be falling a lot faster, up to 3 inches per hour at times. So it's not so much the amount as it is the intensity there, but still almost a foot of snow in some areas, especially in eastern Chicago. So avoid all unnecessary travel. That is pretty rare wording to see on a winter storm warning. Dangerous to nearly impossible travel conditions. They don't typically use the word dangerous. You can see with our other winter storm warning, it just says travel could be very difficult to impossible. So that is pretty rare wording, and I bet a lot of that reason is due to the highly populated area, but also because of how quickly that snow is falling. What's the air temp like? Is there a chance it's going to freeze? Yeah, there is a chance that it is going to freeze. Going back to this, you can see that area of cold is going to move out over the next couple of days. So, especially tomorrow into Tuesday, we could see some of that snow begin to melt, but then during the night, we could see it freeze again. There's going to be a very little amount of melting, but it could likely freeze again. So that's going to create very slick road conditions. So the air temp right now, as of right now, near Chicago, 27 degrees Fahrenheit. And the majority of that melting due to the snow is not going to be because of temperatures. They likely won't raise too much above the mid-30s, but when the sun does come out, it's going to start melting that snow, but then into the evening when they lose that sunlight and the temperatures begin to drop again, we may see it freeze. So a lot of these impacts in terms of roadways are going to be after the snow. You went through last night, very heavy winds because you were near the low pressure system. Yeah, definitely. So we have that 540 line that's bringing very low pressure, and that pressure is going to drop even further as the front makes its way through Kentucky, North Carolina, even portions of Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. So that's what may bring that rare northern Georgia snow. Not necessarily that it's rare, even though it is, but more so for this time of year. I mean, some of these areas like Nashville and Knoxville, Kentucky, why did I say Kentucky? Tennessee, they are expecting to see at least a little bit of snow, maybe about an inch. So that would be before Denver sees their first snow, that never happens. In the UK, you normally get snow and freezing conditions, but it'll only last a day or two, rarely a week. That happens in the States sometimes too. I mean, in Denver in 2020, we had a record high day. I think we got into the 90s. And this was in early September. And then days later, we had a record low on September 8th, and we got 4 or 5 inches of snow. south and west of the metro. Shout out to the UK from the Midwest. But yeah, it's bro. We will be thinking about you. Please stay safe. Have you lost power with this storm? Because that is the main concern. Because obviously once you lose power, you lose heat, you lose a lot of light, and it makes the storms a lot harder to bear. So make sure you have plenty of blankets. Unfortunately, we probably won't be live too much longer, maybe another 10 to 15 minutes, but it is a school night. Do need to get off of here pretty soon. But we're not ending yet, though. Is it that sleet or freezing rain in the lake just outside of Chicago? Just outside of Chicago in the lake. This is all snow. This entire area is under the freezing point. Near South Bend, Indiana, the radar is picking up on a little bit of rain, but I can assure you all of this is either wintry mix and mainly snow. The Radar Omega precipitation on the winter weather radar isn't always 100% accurate, but I promise you we're not seeing any rain in any of these areas near South Bend, Indiana. It is at least wintry mix, sleet, or snow nonetheless. Fortunately, we don't have any cyclone ports in these areas to look at. Who is this? See, okay, we can't look at his feed. You haven't lost power. Is Interstate 94 closed because of the weather? I'm not sure if that's a question or a statement, but I would imagine it is. So let's look up interstate closures winter storm. So not seeing anything about road closures in Southwest Michigan that pop up immediately, but I bet there are definitely some road closures out there with how much snow we're getting. But I do have some very exciting news to share. My first ever storm chase video, the storm chase that we did on August 9th, 2025, the video is officially set to premiere. The premiere is currently set up for 5 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow evening, so that is 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. So that is going to be my most recent video. So be sure to watch that. Tune in for the premiere. Go like the video early and hit that notification bell so you are notified. I worked pretty hard on that video. I do use iMovie as my editing software, so there are some limitations with that. It is a very beginner editing software. I tried DaVinci Resolve, but I think I'll try that with some other video, but with this one, I just wanted to edit it with something that I know how to use. But for iMovie standards, I would say the intro especially is pretty good. You think in areas where the snow drifts it's going to be extremely difficult. So far, it looks fairly manageable. Compared to what they are going to see, right now the snow is very manageable. But if you look at Connor Croft's stream, a lot of that snow that is falling, there is snow falling, but if you look next to the road, you can see it kind of drifting around. So, definitely going to be a big issue. I think there's ice under the snow, making roads very slippery. Yeah, I could see that. We have been live for an hour. It barely feels like 20 minutes. I wish I could be here longer, but unfortunately, I do have a pretty busy day tomorrow. I do get to do our writing in English about books we've been reading, and I have been reading the book about, I can't remember the exact name of the book, even though I've been reading it for a while, but it's the book. It's like The Legendary Life of Tornado Chaser Tim Samaras, and I've been reading it, and it goes through like Tim Samaras' whole career and like his life outside of storm chasing. Very good book. I'm about 120-ish pages in, but I have very much enjoyed it, so I'm writing a book report on that. So it's nice to be able to do weather things at school. It's a very nice stream. Glad you came online and I was here. I'm glad as well. Thank you for tuning in, Dominic, and everyone else. I appreciate all of you for being here. I'm glad I was able to get on tonight. I scheduled this stream this morning. It was immediately part of my schedule for the day because I knew that we were going to need coverage tonight. Not too many people. I think I might be the only one live covering this. I think actually, there might be somebody else live covering it, but most of them are chasers out there. I'm one of the only people here right now that is doing coverage for this. Justin R. Windancer Media, he's doing one of his fireside chats actually, and he's got coverage going on, so he's got some people watching. So I may actually send my viewers over to him at the end of the stream. But we're going to keep going a bit longer. We've got 2 people watching, 7 likes. Whoever just tuned in, welcome into the stream. Hope you're doing well. Once again, our main concern for snow right now is Michigan City, Indiana, New Buffalo Township in southwest Michigan, and then obviously the Chicago metro. They're not seeing as much snow right now in terms of, I guess, depth, you could say. But most of that snow actually is west of Chicago right now in terms of where it's falling, but the further east you go is where that snow is going to be mainly lingering. But the heaviest band of snow right now is approaching New Buffalo Township. That is what could produce 2 to 3 inches of snow per hour. You call me a storm coordinator. It always looks like you're managing the storm like air traffic control. That's funny. I'll have to remember that. That's a good way of putting it. That's a nice compliment. So thank you, Dominic. So we're going to give a rundown of everything that's going on one last time really quick, and then I'm going to have to end off the stream. But for those of you just tuning in, be sure to like the stream, and welcome in. So right now our heaviest band of snow is making its way on the shore near New Buffalo Township, Michigan City, those areas in Indiana and southwest Michigan. You guys are expecting 12 to 18 inches of snow, up to 2 to 3 inches per hour of those excessive snowfall rates. So if you are in the Chicago metro, Gary, Indiana, especially if you're in New Buffalo Township, Michigan, Long Beach, Indiana, Michigan City, Indiana, just off the coast of Lake Michigan, guys, please avoid all travel if not necessary, and have a plan for power outages. And I would say even if you have a big tree in your yard, avoid windows because those trees could come down. I'm not trying to scare you, just trying to prepare you. We have lost our severe thunderstorm warning that we had. That was in Virginia. Now just some special weather statements, as that is in the bay. So nothing too concerning, and I doubt we'd have any boats out there, but just small craft. Be sure to keep an eye on that. And those storms are moving through. We do have a couple storms moving through near Wilmington and some rain showers near Washington, D.C. I'm going to pull up radar scope one last time just so we can check in on if we've got any thunder snow. Okay, so it's not showing any lightning right now. Once again, the reason I use radar Omega for the most part on streams is because it's more presentable. Radar scope is more professional, I would say, for like storm chasers and stuff. When I have personal use cases, I use that, but the only time I use Radar Omega for myself is for winter weather, but on stream I use it most of the time. I just like the color tables a bit more for streaming. They're a bit more vibrant, but also calm at the same time. But wow, that is a heavy band of snow in the middle of Lake Michigan off the coast of Wisconsin. And that's going to be moving. That one's actually moving east a little bit to the southeast. So that band is going to be approaching areas south of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and eventually down to Chicago. So that could produce our snow rates of up to 3 inches per hour that they are calling for. We're going to get back to Radar Omega right here. But I'm going to check in on chat one last time for this stream. I think a lot of our audience are probably thinking about having to get up to. But once again, if you would like to watch any live coverage of the actual event, look up Connor Croft on YouTube. He's out there chasing. He is a great storm chaser. Also, Aaron Rigsby, Corey Gherkin are out there. But with that being said, that is going to be the end of this live stream. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Actually, hold up really quick. I need to set up our redirect. Almost forgot about that. Okay, so we're going to raid Justin R. Winddancer Media. He's a storm chaser in Arkansas. So we're going to send the viewers over to him. So that is going to be the end of the stream. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Dominic, for the donation. Thanks for watching. Dominic, Itzbra, Camp, Misty, and everybody else we had in here. Stay safe in the storm, Itzbra, and I will see you all in the next one. Once again, thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll be